Well, guys, I'm Francisco, or Kiko, the copywriter, and
Raquel?
she's also a copywriter.
Cool.
Alrighty. So, our first insight is that the Miami Ad School is located in a perfect location. That there is inspiration all around in all the elements, every nook and cranny. And based off of a case study done by McCann, we found out that there's this Latin flexibility when compared to the European creative industry. And what McCann found is that creativity thrives in areas where the rules are kind of bent a little, which is kind of like our MO. They compared 36% of European creatives compared to 44% of Latin American creatives, that the whole idea of creativity is imperative to success. And that the laid back culture when compared to the European industry, which is kind of like the varsity team, they find that laid back, not so much structured, and that kind of like almost island lifestyle is very critical to the success that they have in creativity.
And the thing with Latin flexibility is that it's not just for the sake of exercise. It's actually a means of living. You know, our infrastructure, sometimes the adversities that's within it, requires for our creativity to kind of spark up under necessity. So we end up doing the most creative things with very rational tools. So, you know, creativity can spark at any moment, in any place. But when it runs away, we often know where to find it. Every creative process has that place. It's where ingenuity pulses like a tambora, where ideas vibrate like the wave of a royal palm, where inspiration cradles you like the shoreline. It's the place where the space around you fosters the environment needed to uncork creativity. And that place, well, that's your muse. The Caribbean muse. Forget the concrete jungle and forget the brain-freeze weather. Start your career on the right foot. Start at the place where creativity thrives best, where the inconvenient and unconventional is the norm. Reinvent your story, your way. Miami Ad School, Punta, Cana.
So our idea with the Caribbean Muse is that the inspiration is all around you. It's in the people, it's in the culture, it's in the environment. Everything from the tambora that is unique to Dominican music, that's a specific type of drum. Everything from the royal palms that are native to the country and the shoreline, the beautiful beaches. Wherever you go, it's kind of hard not to be inspired, and especially by a culture that's so passionate. With that, we also want to show that the lifestyle goes into that laid back. You hear a lot here in Miami, like everyone runs on Cuban time and that like laid back lifestyle. And it's now showing that helps in creativity. So
and it can be showcased in the ad school. Like we have an ad school here that it's an envy of other locations because it's so, you can see the creativity all around you. But what if you were able to create that ingenuity and have chairs that are not really chairs, they're a different object. Barbecue that you have there for the students that is not really a barbecue, it's a cart that's flipped. You know, that kind of thing, it's more of like a homage to creativity and Latin creativity for that matter.
Especially that Latin flexibility that we love so much because it is unconventional and it's not traditional, but neither are we and neither are our prospective students. And that's why they're looking at the Miami Ad School to begin with.
Yeah. Neither are classes.
Yeah, then that is kind of saying that like, we may be the JV team right now compared to the like European industry and the North American industry, but there is method to our madness.
So, you know, Miami Ad School, it's so open that it doesn't matter where you come from or who you are. If you have that passion, this is the place for you. So, flip the script. You know, it's time to flip the script because as one of the youngest regions in the world, we have to, in Latin America, it's often striving to overcome all that traditional and conservative norms that rule society.
So throughout history, there have always been people who have broken the chains, They didn't fit the mold. They saw what was in front of them, and they had the coconuts to break through the status quo.
The status quo?
And that leads us to our example of a Dominican Republic native, Oscar de la Renta. Oscar de la Renta's parents were in insurance. And
Were in?
Insurance. They sold insurance. And they were a very protective, very conservative, very traditional Latin family. He went on to dress people like Jackie O. He is one of the most timeless, internationally recognized, and talented designers of our time. And it really makes you think that insurance was not written for him. He was not going to be selling insurance.
Yeah. So, status quo, right? This is a chance to not miss out on history, to create your own dogma. Flip the script, tear down the walls, and fill your blank canvas with a gamut of colors. Because great ideas aren't born when you stick to the status quo.
And our ideas behind this is showcase exactly what Oscar did. The people, like now famous people of today, where would they be if they did exactly what their parents would have done? What would Oscar de la Renta would have looked like? What would the world and the industry would have looked like if he
it's
went
like,
insurance?
like a little parallel universe.
Like the spot that, who was the basketball player? Chris Paul, I think it was, in State Farm.
Oh.
That kind of deal. That it's like it reminds me of that execution, but it comes something else. That literal that he's working in the insurance company, like knocking doors and selling.
Yeah,
stuff.
imagine a world where it's like, these creative people, if they didn't, break the chains and challenge the status quo.
And you can execute that both ways. Like you can execute it like in let's say an old school, don't copy kind of ad, like with his face there, and like what would have been of Oscar de la Renta if, and then you and then. Yeah.
Or you can catch him the other way. You can actually dress him up as an insurance guy. Or somebody, and you say, do you know this guy? Well, he's not really an insurance guy. This is Oscar de la Renta if he were to do what his father did. It could also go as or a museum. You can have a museum and like an homage again of all these people that saved themselves from having this kind of life thanks to their
And then also to show campaigns that, kind of like how you were saying, do exactly like that. And one of the things that came to mind for us is really highlight the companies like REI that did opt outside. They knew that they were going to lose billions of dollars by closing on Black Friday. They didn't care. If it stayed true to themselves, they weren't going to do what everybody else was doing, and they were going to change that. And then also play on the fact that we are not the June and Ward Cleavers of yesteryear. Like, we're flipping the script. We're not going to do what our parents would do, and just really lean into that. The most common occupation in the Dominican Republic is the service industry and agriculture.
How would you address that in an execution?
Show them, kind of play. We were thinking of this like vintage retro vibe that meets today, and that kind of collaboration of like the 1950s Leave It to Beaver, but like with an edge, because at the end of the day, we are the misfits, and that's what we want to show.
You create like a club, some sense of society, call people in, and invite them to be part of.
Yeah, well, in terms of the execution, let's say that it's a social campaign. What I will see is a video, it's a print, it's what.
I could definitely see
You can do print, and I think
like a art pop kind of thing where you involve that like
some sort of a collage, mixed media that is like that parallel between the old school and what we're trying to say.
Think of it like asking somebody to become part of the Breakfast Club, sort of a misfits club of creative people, and you can execute it in different ways with clever headlines and a good print, a good 6-second video for social.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you very much.